All right, for the last section in our ratios unit that we've had here, we're going to look at some scale drawings. And once you're done with all this, you're going to actually be making your own scale drawing of your choice, what you would like to do. So for this, basically, you've probably seen scale factors or scale drawings before. Many of you will be familiar on it when you see like a map or something like that. Like in the corner, sometimes they have a key that says like this much actually equals like 5 miles in real life or things like that. You may also see different diagrams that have the same kind of effect to them. Another place you would see this is if you had some kind of a model like, I don't know, just one example off the top of my head that I can think about is I know I used to have this model of Wrigley Field, and it was like the ratio of what my model was to real life was like 1 to 10,000 or something like that, where 1 inch in real life equals 10,000 in the um, actual stadium, actual field. Or sometimes you see those with like model cars. Like sometimes a model car will be 64 to 1 compared to what the real car is. So, that's just something to think about as we go through this. So here's kind of an example to start us off here. If we have a map and the map says that 1 inch on the map equals 5 miles in real life, how many miles would 8 inches represent? Now, I think this is pretty easy, and you can probably solve this pretty simply here. But if you just can't think about this and you need to really picture it, you can always go back to the chart, which I think always helps. If we know that 1 inch is 5 miles in real life, but 1 inch on the actual chart, and we have to get to 8 inches, how many miles is it going to be? And again, this should be pretty easy. We've already got it down to a unit rate here. A unit rate is just with 1. So if I do 1 times 8 to get to 8, so we will times 8 on the other side, and your answer would be 40 miles. So 8 inches on the map would be 40 miles in real life. Those are the kinds of problems that we're going to be taking a look at here, and I really want you to catch on to this. This shouldn't be any different than what you've done before. It's just a little bit different context. Another example for you. If we have let's say we have a map of our school, different hallways, different rooms, and things like that. And basically what we're saying is that if we see that 60 centimeters equals 15 inches, that's what we're seeing so far. I want to know, what is the scale factor? If they ever ask you what is the scale factor, they're asking you what is it for one of what we're looking for here. Okay, and this could be done in a couple different ways, but basically we're trying to get it down to a unit rate is what they're asking for. If they ask what is the scale factor, we want to know one of these equals how many of these. So this problem could probably be taken a couple different ways here. If I wanted to know one of the centimeters is how many of the inches, we could do that. Or if we wanted to know one of the inches is how many of the centimeters. So we'll do this 2 different ways here. So I'll start with 60 and 15 twice here. So if we wanted to get it so it was 1 centimeter equals how many inches? Well, obviously, to make it 1 centimeter, we're going to have to divide by 60. So if I divide this by 60, you're going to get 1. Now, if I divide this by 60, 15 divided by, and it's not 60 divided by 15, it's 15 divided by 60. So this is going to be a decimal, and I would get 0.25, which is also 1/4. So we could say, if we were going for the scale factor to be in centimeters, 1 centimeter equals 1/4 of an inch on the school diagram. If we did it the other way, and we wanted to find out if we had 1 inch on the diagram, how many centimeters would it be? We would do it the other way. I want to make this number 1. So that would be dividing by 15 to make that a unit rate, to make that 1. So again, I have to do the same thing to the other side. 60 divided by 15 is 4. So basically what our unit or our scale factor here is going to be, for every 1 inch, it's actually 4 centimeters, or every 1 inch on the diagram represents 4 centimeters. So if you ever see scale factor, that's trying to get one of the numbers down to 1 to say that one of these equals this. Here's another example for you. This one we talk about a model car. The model car, the actual model car is 8 inches long. The real car is 3 yards long. I want to know what is the scale factor. Okay, every inch on the model equals how much in real life. Okay, so we could do this. So I will put my inches here, my yards here. So my question is, if I get this to 1 inch on the model, how many yards in real life is that going to be? That's basically what we're asking here. So what I'll do is I'll just divide this by 8 because I want the inches to be 1, because it really wouldn't really make sense like if I said, well, 1 yard in real life is how many inches on the map. That would be going backwards, but that's probably not how we would do it. We're basically saying that 1 inch in real life equals how many yards. That's what we're trying to figure out. So I'll do a divide by 8 because we're trying to get down to the scale factor. The scale factor would be making this 1. So 1 inch equals how many yards in real life. If I divide this by 8, obviously that's not going to come out nice and evenly. Okay, so what we could do is I could actually make this into feet. Might be a good thing. So 3 yards. If we have 3 yards, there's, what do we got? 3 yards, so that would be 12 inches. 36. There's 3 feet in a yard. So that's going to be, and that's still not going to come out very evenly. So we can do it like this. So we can do 3 yards divided by 8. And then I might want to get a calculator for that, just to do 3 divided by 8. Or you could actually do, we'll just do the work on the board. That'd be fine. So if we had to divide by 8, that should be something that's familiar to you, setting it up like this. 8 goes into 30. That would be 3 times, which would make it 24. 6, bring down the 0. 8 goes into 60, not 8. That'd be 7 times. That'd be 56. Take equals 4, bring down the 0. That goes into 5 times. So basically what we're saying is 1 inch on our car in real life is going to be not quite half a yard. It's going to be 0.375 yards. If it was 0.5 yards, that would be half. So this is just under half a yard. And again, if we're finding the scale factor, we just need to divide to get one of the numbers down to 1. And it usually, if you read the context of the problem, it'll be easy to understand which one needs to get down to 1. All right, in this problem, we've got a map, and it says the gas station, if you actually measure the map, like if we measure the map, the gas station is 32 millimeters away from where we're at right now. Obviously, in real life, it's not 32 millimeters away, but on the map, it's 32 millimeters away. If the scale of the map, and in this case, this is different than the other two because they actually give you what the scale is. I want to know how far away is the gas station. Okay, so basically we're saying that 1 millimeter equals 3 miles. In real life, that's on the map. 1 millimeter is on the map, 3 miles is in real life. So I'll put millimeters here, I'll put miles here. This is something that many of you can probably solve without doing this, which would be perfectly fine, but this is just an option that you have. So if 1 millimeter equals 3 miles, 32 millimeters is going to equal how many? I've already got it down to the scale factor where one of them is 1. I will just take this and multiply it by 32, and then I will also multiply this by 32. So my answer would be, what would that be? 96 miles. Okay, so on the map, it's this far, but if we figure out what that is using our scale in real life, the gas station is actually 96 miles away. Alright, what we basically did, and we'll do a practice here, but what we basically did is we did 2 types of problems. That first problem, you actually got what the scale factor was. This was the scale factor. You had to answer a question using the scale factor. The middle two problems, and they didn't, after I did them, they didn't come out as evenly as I wanted them to. But that's not a big deal at all. In these two problems, you had to figure out what was the actual scale. They don't give you the scale. What was the actual scale? And you can use that with the two numbers that they give you. And then the last problem we did was another one like the first one, where they give you the scale factor. You have to come up with what the actual distance is using the scale factor. So those are the two different types that you're going to have here. And I've got one of those here. I've got one where you're actually using the scale factor, one where you're actually finding the scale factor. Now, this one will be easy for you to do. I have confidence in that. This one should be too. Let's just kind of go over this real quick here. If we're doing like the hallway in the school, and 110 feet is actually 10 centimeters on the diagram, what's the scale factor? To really think about which one of these on a map are we probably going to want, would make the most sense to get down to be 1. I would say that it'd have to be centimeters. We would want it to say 1 centimeter in the map equals how many feet in real life. So think about that as you're doing these two problems. Solve this video and then come back to it and see how you did.